Yeah, every day.
So,
every day.
It was a couple years ago. I was hanging out with my best friend, one of my best friends, Andy. And he had recently got a house at that time, and he was with this girl. And, you know, we never really got to hang out during high school because he got in so many fights. He got to alternative school. He was kind of like my insurance policy in high school, but, you know, Andy's a great guy. He's going through a rough time, and I hope the best for him. You know, I know they'll pull through. You know, I try and invite him here tonight, but, you know, he's got
things to do.
Wife and kids. But anyways, I was going to hang out with him. First time I hadn't seen him in years, right? So,
Right.
So, you know, I meet him up at his house, and he's living in this janky, broken down trailer park of a home. I mean, I felt like walking on the steps I felt like the steps were gonna crumble. I mean, the front door had like plastic bags covering like the glass that was shattered. So when I walked in, you know, the ceiling fan was like this. A ceiling fan like this was on the floor for some reason. I don't know why.
That's a nice ceiling
but
fan.
there were plastic cups in the sink, freaking expired ground beef in the sink. Like okay.
Brody.
But you know, at the time, he, I guess another couple living with him. But I hadn't seen Andy in years, and you know, Andy was like, "Hey, I gotta go to the gas station. You want to come with me?" I'm like, "Sure, man. You know, we haven't seen each other in years, right? So we're gonna hang out." And at the time, I was not familiar with the Gallatin area. Ironically enough, that's where I live now. So Andy drives in his car, and we go to a gas station. And while we're at this gas station, there's a guy named Fresh.
Fresh.
Poppin' fresh.
I want to say his last name was out of prison. Because he went up to Andy, and Andy's like, "Hey man, I got some good shit. I'll give you 15 for $1,000." And Andy was interested in that offer, so Andy decides to give Fresh $15. And without thinking of it, Andy, you know, gives him $15, and Andy's driving, so we drive in the car with Fresh in the back seat, and Fresh says, "Oh, I have the stuff at my place." And Fresh is hardly giving directions, right? Hardly giving directions. And so Fresh finally is like, "Oh, this is where I'm at." So we go to where Fresh is at, and Fresh gets out of the car, he goes into his house. And then about 3 minutes later, Fresh is like, "Hey, my buddy at HG Hills has your weed." And I could tell Andy, you know, he was kind of getting a little heated. But anyways, Andy decides to drive to HG Hills, and there's like a Dollar General and some other like Dollar Tree or whatever. We're in the parking lot for 15 minutes. And there's no one in sight. And Andy did not bring his phone, so he uses my phone to call his then girlfriend at the time about what happened. And I don't know what was said in that conversation, but she said something and it sets him off. And Andy, thank God he didn't throw my phone, but Andy back then, you know, he kind of had a temper. He had a short fuse. You know, like, he was like, he hands me my phone, he's like, "Fresh thinks he's real shit. Well, I'm gonna show him what real shit's all about. I wanna fucking, you know, kill his ass." So, and my car is all the way back at his place, and I don't even know where the hell I'm at in Gallatin. So Andy backs out of Dollar General parking lot, and he zooms out of there, and he's going 20 miles over the speed limit. Cursing, he wants to kill this guy, and while he's doing all that, he's banging on his steering wheel so hard, pounding it, like he breaks his own car horn in the car.
Big oof.
Like, he's like, "Shit, I'm gonna fucking win, I'm gonna show you." So Andy, and I'm like thinking I'm gonna die today, because
Open the door, roll out.
Because there were cops like everywhere that day, and I was like, oh my god, buddy, get fucking cops, like see what's going on. And so Andy pulls up to where Fresh and his clique hang out at. He literally pulls up, and Andy's like, if I get shot, you just drive off in my car. I'm like, hold the fuck up.
$15 worth of weed.
Yeah.
Hold the fuck up. I was like, Andy, I'm your bro. I would not let anything happen to you, but at the same time, this is not my problem.
Yeah,
I did not get back $15.
I was just trying to get around to
You
Taco
know,
Bell.
I just want to hang out with you. I didn't ask to be a part of this,
Yeah.
you know.
Drug deal.
Yeah, that you're trying to make.
Cheap
Call
drug
it
deal.
Because you were desperate to, you know, get high.
Get a little high.
But Andy, he gets out of the car, and he, you know, he's like pounding on the door, you know, just like relentless, just pounding on the door, and no one answered. No one answered. So 5 minutes go by. Andy gets back in the car. He drives off, and about a minute later, Andy's like, sorry, I had to drag you through all that. I'm like, it's cool, man. That's cool.
Let's get out.
We haven't seen each other in years, and
He just needed a Snickers.
yeah,
Yeah.
You're not
we haven't
getting
seen each other in years, and this is how we hang out for the first time in years.
Nice.
And it scared the shit out of me, because what if they had opened that door? Would I jump in and help my bro and get jumped or shot at maybe? Or do I just call the cops and be like, hey, or do I just drive the fuck off? Like, I wouldn't know what the fuck to do, because that ain't my problem. But that's a story that scared the living shit out of me. Not really, but it scared me.
That's all, folks.